In terms of the betting sphere right here, don't have a ton on it. This was just more of the grudge match. Ian Machado Gary gets the split decision on Jeff Neal. Now, this is where a lot more controversy comes in because you have commentary. You got the Joe Rogans of the world who's basically making it seem like Gary just ran away with the fight. Everybody else is kind of like, nah, Neal made this a very close fight. For the bravado of an Ian Garry, for the betting perspective of an Ian Garry, because if we take a look back at it, right, he closed where he opened at, excuse me, minus 225. So he was over a minus 220 favorite in this matchup. So the question ultimately becomes, was this performance of this 14-0 undefeated prospect, contender, excuse me, was this definitive enough for him to continue to be minus 200 favorite over UFC veteran, very skillful guys like Jeff Neal?
I don't think so, Derek. I don't think so. Like you're saying, you're naming all these numbers, right? That are supposed to be just awe-inspiring. Yet he wasn't able to finish Jeff Neal where Shavkat was. A name that arguably, and then in my mind, is going to be one of the top deals. But Ian Machado Gary had a hard time and was very nervous about those kind of things whenever another fighter that is arguably in that same kind of crawling space or going up the rankings was able to put things to him. So that I do think the bravado or the price to pay for Ian Garry right now is a little bit not undeserved, but just a little bit high for me to really get behind him. I want to see performances, man. I want to see a fighter like that willing to put their O on the line and actually get things done to shoot themselves to the top, not just climb the rungs, if you will.
That's it, bro. So that's a really interesting perspective because I agree. It's like in the future, do you want to continue to pay this price for Ian Garry? And I'm not sure if I'm convinced enough as he continues to go up those higher rungs of the division, right? Now you're top 10, pure. You through and through. You're ready to go for these guys. And as we start seeing these minus 200s even heavier on some of these more established guys, you might want to start thinking about the underdog because while I think we were correct in our analysis, at the end of the day, Ian Garry just had more weapons. He was more versatile. He looked like a 2024 fighter as Jeff Neal. Not to be disrespectful whatsoever, he just looked like a 2010, 2015 fighter. And what I mean by that is primarily just boxing, follow you, try to cut you off. Ian Garry, oblique kicks, head kicks, question mark kicks, everything snapping, everything given thoughts, right? So interesting. And we'll see if we'll continue to pay that price for Ian Garry in the future.